very wonderful to see you all here. Thank you for coming. We have this wonderful legend herself visiting us, and she today will be talking to us about her invention, which is spreading the world like a wildfire, beautiful wildfire of life, of prana, of agni. And thank you so much for doing this, Dr. Sandra Michael. Please come in. Let's just welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Before you switch, would you share just a few things that you've been seeing here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, first of all, people who are sitting here, I wouldn't say privileged, but they're lucky because they were given not only access today for this event, but access for a monthly membership that we do have here that you can ask me anything, and it's a platform, the wellness platform. Go and you can, basically we're trying to build community. We're promoting health and wellness and spiritual growth. That's what we're doing. And because of this EESystem, it started escalating and growing, and people like you coming and flocking. And some of you are healthy and just seeking spiritual wisdom, and some of you have some problems that need to be fixed. And we had some real miracles where you can actually see the details of the miracles. Basically, any kind of miracles, anything between mental health and physical health, people with cancers, people with autoimmune disease, people with pain, people with all sorts of things that came here and received their miracles. It's not like us, we gave it to them. It wasn't me, it wasn't, we just someone who's just sitting and observing all that in awe. So yeah, going back to those who actually participating today, you have several benefits. Number one, you're going to have the whole membership, like whole month, access to it, and then decide if you want to continue with that or not. Second, today we're going to put your names in the jar, and Dr. Sandra will pull out one of your names, and you're going to get free pass over there. So, and then also what we're going to do today, we're going to play some beautiful games that Dr. Sandra developed just to see how this EESystem actually affects the fluids. And if it affects fluids in vitro, which is not in your body, not in vivo, but in vitro, that means it will affect your fluids, which is 75-80% of water. You will be affected the same way. So today we're going to be using sparkling water, we're going to be using wine, we're going to be using champagne, and you're going to do that. You're going to testify and tell us your experience. So it's going to be fun, okay? So I guess,
yeah.
What else?
Speaking of fluids, IVs. How are IVs?
Oh yeah, that's right. So
then you share those here.
Yeah, based on the whole entire concept of water being life. We all came from water. We have water. Planet Earth has 75% of water. We have 75% of water. Everything is happening in the water, all the processes. So, and this charge that happens in this EESystem, the voltage that increases the waters of your body. Also, imagine if you're receiving water that is already charged and going straight into your vein with all the vitamins and minerals and all sorts of things. Yeah, that's what we do here. And we do have some patients who received St. Myers cocktail outside of this office somewhere else, same content, but then when they came here and then received it here, they said, what did you put in that bag? I feel high. We have patients, we have 3 to 4 patients sitting in the room, and usually there's a beautiful music, meditative music playing, and all of them on, tucked on IV and having IVs. And then all of a sudden we hear Justin Bieber playing, and they're all going. And then so we've seen all sorts of crazy things, and that's because it just basically unleashes it charges you to the point 70 to 80 millivolts of your cells, and this is exactly the frequency that your body was when you were born. You see, the healthy, beautiful, high frequency newborn body, and this is what it just brings you back to it. And the idea is just to keep that frequency as much as possible. And IVs, yeah, you feel IVs immediately, especially when you give exosomes and other substances in there to stimulate your body's abilities to heal, people get great results.
Have all of you experienced the technology already before?
Once.
Once.
Just once. Yeah.
Once.
Oh, so you're newbies, kind of, but you're not virgins. Okay. There's anybody here that hasn't ever been in. And at least she had everybody in there before we started, those that came early. Which every minute in there is healing. Every second, if you knew what I knew, you spend every minute you can within the technology, because it's the ideal, optimal, energetic environment we'd have if we had heaven on earth, rather than living in such a toxic soup. New York is really special that way. You know, I used to come in here from Hawaii, go, heaven on earth, hell on earth. Where would I rather be? But, you know, New York's difficult. You know, it's a difficult energetic. You talked about being a new wave of light workers in New York. Not easy. But yeah, without this technology, it's like
Christ Almighty.
somebody's talking over there.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's dealing with extreme radiation poisoning. We're living in a toxic soup. But the radiation poisoning, and you mentioned about your wife does skincare and stuff. People losing their hair. So common. That's one of the things. Or acute chronic dehydration is one of the issues that you have with radiation, but also just in this environment. And that's why the hydration, the IVs, things like that are very useful, you know, for the body. Hydration is everything. A lot of dis-ease and aging is just from acute chronic dehydration. Just all kinds of sound here. But yeah, just the toxic soups and to me, you know, like the radiation microwave, it's like you might as well be living in a microwave, you know, and that shortens that. But what radiation does, what all that electropollution does, it shortens your DNA. You know, it literally unzips the DNA. You're going to come here, put the DNA back in that unified field, you know, tighten all that, links back up, unified. So rather than unzipping the DNA, put it back to its original divine matrix, its original divine design. And let's lengthen those telomeres back up, even though we've been told that's impossible by science. Clearly it's not, because that was the original research with NASA. They found it was repairing all the breaks and damage in the DNA. So that's regeneration and lengthening telomeres. And I have another doctor. Have you talked to her yet? Dr. Yeah, Dr. Jenny Shu.
We texted, but we need to connect.
Yeah, did she send you her research a little bit? Yeah. Okay, Dr. Jenny Shu is another professor of medicine who had done, she's an anti-aging doctor, had been doing every variety of longevity protocol for some time. So before using our technology, she had her testing done, and she tested according to her telomeres, she tested 3 years younger biologically than chronologically. And that's after a year of doing longevity protocols. But that's cool, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so after 2 sessions, 3 hours each in a system, she went to a system. She happened to be getting her telomere testing done again, and she tested 6 years younger after just 2 sessions. Now, would you know? Do you feel your telomeres lengthening? Feel the blood changing? Feel the brain changing? Not necessarily. Would you know if you were 1.5 years younger after each 3-hour session? But would you rather grow younger or older?
What is the data point of the measurement of that 3 years younger?
It's based on
based on the length of the telomere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's like a database based on average.
Consists of chromosomes, and
Yeah.
chromosomes have the little units. So
Mhm.
again, I'll go back to that little newborn, you have a very long chromosomal arms, and then as you age, it's shorter, 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 shorter. So we're able actually to measure that length.
And there's like a standard based on length to biological age.
Right.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So yeah, and everybody here might want to try that testing. It's cool. It's finally more affordable than it used to be. I think it's about $500.
I think it's even getting less now.
Maybe it's $300
$300
each
ish,
test.
yes, you can go online and
Something.
order.
So telomere testing, very, very interesting. And so then she got her cube, and I think after having her cube, because the cube was faster to get than her system, right? She put an order in for her 24-unit system for her medical center. She's in California. Put the order in, but the cube was faster. You could get that in 3 months versus like a 9-month wait or something for the for the full system, because we're so backlog. And so she got her cube and she had her telomeres tested, and she was 15 years younger.
How long?
I don't know exactly. A few months, I think.
Well, for
A couple
our
months.
members, I will invite her to speak on one of our podcasts, and she will share with the data at some point. Yeah, we'll do that this year. Coming up.
Yeah. And so then she got her center, but this is a cube. So the EE cube is the baby. It's 4 units internally. So the precision of the alignment of the engines, the units, the field engine generators, they're internally precisely aligned. So it creates a very, very strong, clear torsion field, scalar vortex, standing column wave, very strong. But then the monitors are facing out, so it's like photon fountain, because the scalar is driving the photons out on that torsion field, so it becomes a scalar photonic fountain. Okay, so that's the baby slow boat system. They could sit on a coffee table right here. They could sit at the foot of the bed. You can move them around. People put them on casters and roll them around. And so they're very effective, but it's the baby slow boat. But they're cool. And they look cool. But they're easier because they don't have to be aligned like bigger systems. They don't have to be installed. All of our systems are very custom built. All of our components, everything is like a Rolls-Royce engine going in to create these things. And they're custom built and custom installed, because when you have a regular installation like here, I mean, she could tell you what she went through for installation here.
Yeah,
It's very precise.
very precise.
Exactly.
They work the whole day measuring and putting those towers together.
So each installation is a custom installation, and it's aligned to so precise, less than 100th of an inch tolerance. The more precisely aligned, the better it works. Think about it. If one's moved or out of alignment, it would create a wobble. That's what I call the tittle whirl. Because if you go into a system that's where somebody's moved one of the units, you go like that a little bit, you become a bobblehead. It's like a tittle whirl.
So you actually feel if it's out of alignment. Really?
Yeah. A lot of people will feel. Not everybody feels everything, but
That should be part 2 of the experiment, right? Like we do the experiment with water and then we misalign it and then that's it for us. I'm kidding.
We did not bring our installation team with us. Not a good problem. Not a good thing to do.
Although one thing I just want to say, a shout out to the team of Dr. Sandra. This installation team is on the job. You call them at any moment, 3:00 in the morning, you text them, and they're always responsive. I love the way they work. The whole team is amazing.
They love their job.
They do.
They love feeling how it feels once it's turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get excited. It's like, ooh.
Amazing team you have.
Yeah, I mean, they're awesome, actually. So understand in a bigger system, it's all precisely aligned, and you have the intersection of the fields, creating a at the intersection of the fields, it creates a 360-degree sphere that goes out. The scalar vortex goes out, at least 2.2 miles. It's trying to create that nullification of detrimental fields, the null zone effect. But the hyper healthy energy is in, because the DNA is biophotonic and we're colliding photons, not just colliding photons, it's actually creating something of it's a photonic fusion. It's like a cold nuclear fusion event, because that's what our body really relates to. Because one of my scientists proved that what occurs in the body is actually a cold nuclear fusion. And so it supports that natural process in the body. Panos Pappas is that person's name. And you can read up on it, you can find some of his works that he's passed now. It did work with him. He's a Greek, so we talked about Athens. Yeah, he's a Greek physicist and researcher, and proved that what occurs in the body is actually cold fusion. But he also did some of the research and talking about how cancer doesn't exist in the body. So it's below 20 millivoltage, and that means 70 to 90 millivoltage. The cancer can only exist in a low energy, process. Cancer, and we know from Warburg's work, cancer only exists in hypoxic state, lack of oxygen, and also in acidification of tissue. So pH. So what's pH? That's your hydrogen potential. So with this, it's releasing the active hydrogen, so it's trying to alkalize every tissue in the body with the hydrogen, which is your ultimate antioxidant. But it's also releasing the active oxygen, because part of the fusion creates hydrogen body. If I got this right. I know you'll be able to explain it to everyone perfectly when you leave here. It's good for accelerated learning states.
I'm not a scientist by trade, but I am absorbing the concept of what you're talking about. I wanted to ask also, how can you measure, is there a device that you can measure the metabolics on our bodies? Like we can do a cap onto something and
there are a number of things for testing. The BioWell by Dr. Karakov is one of the ones. Accugraph, which is used by acupuncturists, and it measures the voltage off the meridians. And there was a 130 patient study done by a doctor with a pain clinic. 130 people, he proved that in 100% of the cases it raised the number voltage and showed that what that looks like. But although the best testing I saw, and there's others, but the best testing I saw was actually when I presented with all the scientists and the deans of the universities in Korea. The Koreans actually had the best testing, but they hadn't let that technology out of the country yet. So yes, so can be tested. But the oxygenation, easy to test, pulse oximeter. You can test oxygenation, and we hear this all the time of people that have been hypoxic, have been, have desatted as far as their oxygen levels, and they haven't had it out over 90 in, period of time, or over 85 or something like that. They'll go in the room and they test. I just listened to somebody doing a testimonial about that yesterday, and we hear it all the time. People no longer needing their CPAP, because it's releasing the active oxygen from within in the body. So you're oxygenating. Again, cancer can't live in an oxygenated system. Can't live in an alkaline system. So the pH creates your alkalinization, the ultimate antioxidant. But that's also your fuel for the mitochondria, your mighty mitochondria. That's your power plants of the cells, right? It's that hydrogen that fuels that. So some of the research, this was a pilot study done in London. I was there with the Royal Society of Medicine and did testing with a research scientist. Had 9 people in that study in an 8-unit system. And there was quadrupled mitochondrial activity in every single person after 1 hour. Now, cancer is considered mitochondrial failure. So how important was that? How cool is that? And, and arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, those are all considered mitochondrial dysfunction. So everybody just wants to be turned on, in other words. You want to turn the lights back on, activate the light at the core of the DNA, which is literally what this is doing. That's that part of the photonic fusion aspect. Activates the light, gives your body the energy to heal itself. It's like a whole body cell charger. Wireless. Works as easily as a cell phone charger. You don't have to understand it, it just works. Whether you know what it's doing or not. Oh, and back to Jenny Shu. She got her final, she got her system, and now she did another range of, I don't know how long she's had her 23 minutes. But anyway, the last testing that she had done, she had come to, it was her birthday. She was turning 52 for her birthday. And she'd come to an event I was doing near Reno, Nevada. And she said that she had just gotten back her most recent testing. Some of the testing was showing that she was 28 now.
Wow.
Or 31. And another, there were a couple, she had multi-panels done of some sort. And how about at 52? Do you want to have the body of a 32-year-old or 31-year-old or a 28-year-old?
Wow.
What do you think?
Yeah. I'm 44, I want to be 20 right now, so bad.
We want to keep all the wisdom, keep all that experience, but quality of life is everything. Health. We only get one body this life. This is our number one investment. If you don't have your body, what are you going to do? You can't take your car with you. Not that people have them here. That's way too much hassle. But and say you can't take your bank account with you. But what are you going to do while you're here? And so life is everything, and all life is energy. You want all the energy, your body to heal, function more perfectly, more optimally. Seen anything and everything because the body, that's what the body wants to do. That's what your body knows how to do. That's called the infinite innate intelligence of the body. And so you give it the energy to do what it really knows how to do. When it gets the charge, it wants to discharge everything that does not belong. Right? You have the charge, raising the millivoltage. Now the body has charge, it has energy. It wants to discharge everything. First, in other words, the first thing when the body has more energy, it wants to clean house. Okay, all those backs of closets in your home, or the drawers, the closets that you just didn't have enough energy to get to. The body does the same thing. Oh. And so it wants to push the toxins out of every But we hear this all the time for people. They went home and they cleaned their whole house. Because all of a sudden now they have the energy to all the things to get around to it, they get around to doing all the things that they really wanted to do. But it's a reflection. Now the body has the energy. So get excited about detox. It's cool. Yeah. So that's when the detox bath becomes vital. You've all heard this, but you can't hear it too many times. Nothing does what a bath does.
Can you please emphasize why use salt versus magnesium? Can you explain the underlying issue? Not issue, but reason.
But and it's besides the salt, it's like the salt of the earth kind of thing. But the potassium and sodium pump in the cells, when you're doing a hot salt bath, it's sea salt. Epsom salt is not salt, that's magnesium chloride. Okay, that's a very different thing. It's magnesium. So the salt works more with the charge, but the salt will pull toxins much more efficiently. So a hot salt bath is like doing a fever without the body, a hyperthermia. That's an actual therapy as well. As you raise the body temperature, it's like doing a fever without having to take the body's energy to do the fever. But that's also pumps up that immune function like crazy. For each degree that you can raise body temperature, immune function goes up. So, and then the heat's going to open up the pores, open up the capillaries, open up the pores. And the salt, body, after being in the system, particularly, the body's trying to push toxins out of every nook and cranny, get it out. The skin is the largest organ of elimination. It is the third kidneys. I take all the stress off the body. You're going to breathe because it takes breath for energy to move. Remember that. That's called respiration. Very important. Breathe, let everything dissolve into water because the salt will pull like a magnet. The body's trying to push the toxins. And that's your world's easiest detox. Okay, why you don't do magnesium? And I love magnesium. Let's get real. Magnesium is the #1 missing mineral for most people. Magnesium and iodine is another one. Trace minerals. Your minerals are that spark of life, and the body's dependent on magnesium for so many functions. However, for the detox bath, you want salt, sea salt, because you want to pull the toxins. Because if you're magnesium deficient and you get in an Epsom salt bath, you're going to pull the magnesium. The body's going to grab the magnesium, but you're also going to pull in the fluoride, chlorine, the chloride, everybody's chemo drugs, antidepressants, all the estrogenic, all the hormone treatments, the estrogen. Now, men, we don't need you more about estrogenic, okay? PMS for men is not good, and neither, and we really don't find man boobs attractive either. So everybody got the difference?
Do you think it's the reason, statistically, they say testosterone is declining as we go as a society collectively in the past, especially the past 20 years?
All those gender bender chemicals and the plastics, and all the pesticides and herbicides where it's turning male frogs into female ones and all that would eat, or fish, or they've done all that.
That's crazy.
So is that what we want? How's that working for us?
It is real biochemistry because testosterone comes from estrogen, from progesterone. So if the precursor is predominant, then the body just gets anything it wants. And as a result, you get more estrogen, like activation of the steroids, and as a result, you can lose weight. As a result, you become moody. As a result, you become feeling powerless and so forth.
Also, the breast cancer, and the prostate cancer, and all those issues. That's a problem.
To recap for everybody who's listening, when you guys go after you use EESystem in our facility or any other facility, please make sure that you use sea salt, not Epsom salt. Because we frequently get asked that question and we say no. Now you have an explanation from Dr. Sandra.
And ideally do a bath. Nothing does what a bath does. People go, I don't have a bathtub, or I can't get in a bathtub, all that. Minimally get like a large waste basket, put your feet in. But there are bathtubs you can put in a shower that you can buy, and they're not very expensive. So I would recommend that. You can pull a lot out to the feet. It's still not going to do what a bath does. And if you do that hot foot soak with it, at least take the towel, put it in the hot water, and a very strong salt mixture, put it over the body, and then do like a salt scrub. Spa at home. Everybody's heard of salt blows, salt scrub.
Yeah.
What's the effect of how long to take a bath after the session?
Yeah, and I'd recommend a half hour, but it could be longer. But hearing people that they stayed in for 40 minutes, they found that there was a lot more into the water. Because you can, look at the water beforehand and after. I get sent all kinds of weird pictures.
All the toxins.
What about the temperature? You mentioned it has to be, the warmer the better.
Yeah, not scalding, obviously, but a nice hot.
I overdid the temperature the last
How
time.
long? How long after the session? How long after the session till you take your first bath?
Oh, okay. As soon after, we say within 24 hours. But you really don't want to be reabsorbing if there's any kind of headache, for example, it means that the colon is backed up, it means there's dehydration, or it means the body is pushing the toxins into the bloodstream and it's not getting out fast enough. So if there's any headache, you're dehydrated, the colon's backed up. Get in that bathtub, drink a lot of water, but also make sure the colon is moving. So that's another thing. Simple things, but you gotta let shift go.
At the center in Verona University, they recommended as part of the protocol to do the CSAT, to do baking soda. It's not antimony clay, it's the other
Borax.
borax.
Yeah.
There's another type of
Yeah,
or,
2 cups
earth,
salt, 2 cups baking soda,
Mhm.
1 cup 20 ml borax
yes.
is what we
We
recommend.
offer that here as well.
Yeah. I
Here
had it
too.
all home kind of thing. So
Yeah.
just like,
You can add some bentonite clay also.
cool.
We
Awesome.
have that in our EE salt mixture that's hypercharged,
Mhm.
and you can add that to the mixture that you use.
I added a little bit of that.
Or- If you do it straight, you'll be spoiled for life. I'm just gonna warn you.
That's cool.
I've met that go, oh my God, I just never want to get out of that tub. It was the most positive. Because I hate baths. I don't understand. But yeah, but it feels so good. But part of it has the bentonite, also has the ginger and the green tea.
Mhm.
Because we developed that green tea helps support your epigenetics, your genetic expression. Green tea helps support your DNA.
Having essential oil
Yeah.
actually, you said green tea, not tea tree. Sorry,
Green tea, but
Green
tea
tea.
tree oil is good. People add their, essential oils to it as well.
And it's
Depending
called
on what
borax?
you're dealing with.
It's called
Borax. 20 ml borax. Not boric acid.
You don't want to melt in the bathtub.
20 ml borax. It's the old, it's been around over 100 years as a laundry booster.
Question?
I've had people call and go, I looked at the health food store, I looked at the pharmacy, nobody had borax. No, it's in the laundry booster section. Okay.
Someone
But you
has a
can find
question.
a lot on YouTube about the benefits of borax. It's one of the number 1 detoxers for fluoride.
And one more, I was just gonna add, borax is also good with a good combination with EESystem or red light therapy. And borax together, actually really good for spike protein. So if you need to pull out the spike protein, especially starting something or you had something,
Or you're exposed to people that have had something.
this is the best way to pull it out. Yeah. Someone had a
Synthetic
question.
biologies.
Someone
Yeah.
had a question.
Yes, thank you. First, I would like to request if you all can speak up a little louder, please.
Okay.
And thank you. And going back to the hormones, as a person who is on bioidentical and spent a lot of time in the EE systems and then doing the detox bath, am I doing any damage to those hormones? Is my timing off?
Oh, but we've had people's hormones totally normalized. You need to get retested. Because you don't want to be on bioidentical hormones in the improper amounts either. And the body's going to try to balance. So, so you just want to get your hormones tested again and see how that shifted.
Thank you.
I could tell you for my late husband now, but in his 60s, we had him tested. He had the testosterone of a 20-year-old. He didn't need any other support for that testosterone level. All his hormones. He would sleep in the system, And all of his hormone levels went ideal, and he had no heavy metals whatsoever. And he had had every toxic exposure, being in the military and being with GE Nuclear and being with, he was the head of technology for Lockheed Martin, a lot of toxic exposure, Agent Orange, all kinds of things. All of that was totally no heavy metals, and hormones all tested perfect. Of course, you also want to eat an ideal diet and quit eating those estrogenic, GMOs and eat bioorganic, get real food, not barcode food, and bioorganic. Because if it's not organic, you're just paying for poison.
And another thing I was gonna add as a being on GYN, just being on hormone replacement is not it. It's just making you feel better, but not really going to the root of the problem. Because if you are menopausal and you're requiring hormone replacement therapy, clearly there's something that your body needs. So that's why in our clinic we do approach holistically, and we stimulate your own entire body by giving you certain vitamins, nutrients, and of course energy, and we have yoga sessions, we have breathwork ceremonies that we do. By the way, one of them is coming in January 27th in downtown. So these are the things that is important. You cannot just address one issue with one modality. We are a whole being. We consist of physical, emotional, energetic. This is us. We're very complex.
Yeah. And so that's even bioidentical hormone is like a Band-Aid. You really want to, work with the whole system and release your own endogenous hormones and things. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, but your bath is not gonna interfere with your program.
Any other questions? Anybody on Zoom?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, yes.
Join us in our membership, and we have these conversations every week.
Yeah, now that is your specialty.
Yes.
And the mushrooms, the mushroom extracts.
Yes, we have some mushroom specialists here too. This is the wizard of mushrooms. We're talking different type of mushrooms, cordyceps, adaptogens, and in some cases there's some microdosing of psilocybin, which is regulated, so we're open to it as well. So, like I said, it is a holistic approach to your entire whole being, not just your physical body. And only then we will get great results and growth physically, spiritually, emotionally.
Yeah, there are things that help support, women's health with the hormone balance, that are lentils, cinnamon, flaxseed.
Flaxseed is amazing. Yeah.
Maca. So these are the things we tend to recommend more. And drink a lot of water. And magnesium, there's a product called Magnesium Breakthrough. It's 7 forms of magnesium. Or the other thing I recommend is the best magnesium absorption is through the skin. So you can get magnesium oil. It's not really an oil, or magnesium lotion, and use that after you've gotten out of the bath and the pores are still open. So you get your magnesium that way. Okay, is that helpful?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Can you also speak about ozone IV with the EESystems, or is there a time frame where one would consider getting ozone IV after the EESystem?
Either way, it's going to be more effective within the system. And ozone IVs can be very good, especially for purification of blood if you're trying to clear molds, molds or fungal loads and things like that.
Yes, exactly, mold. Thank you.
Or parasites. There's a lot of things that's working for everybody is antiparasitics. Your ivermectin, wood, your hydroxychloroquine, these were antiparasitics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very related. Cancer can be parasites, can be having mold exposures, can be fungal overloads. So the antiparasitics are very effective. Now people ask, well, is the technology going to give the parasites more energy and make them grow? No. So I do want to address that because I have gotten asked that. Is it going to grow the cancer? No, it does not do that.
It all comes to one thing, environment. If you have alkaline environment, cancer, parasites, mold, nothing can survive there.
Yeah.
If you have environment with a high frequency voltage between 70 to 80, it cannot survive that. If you have high frequency and nitric oxide in your body by doing breath work and yoga, it cannot survive there. So it all comes to one thing. Create that environment. Again, epigenetic, just like Doctor was saying, this is where your genes either will turn on and turn off.
Yeah, your epigenetic, you want to change that gene expression by what you're eating, what you're doing, by changing the whole bioterrain. The terrain is everything. You know, you had germ theory and terrain theory. It's all about changing your bioterrain. So it's no longer conducive to anything less than you feeling amazing and awesome.
Yes. Yes.
So live your greatest life. No excuses. But give yourselves give your energy. You know, so the body has the energy to function more perfectly all the time.
So do you think it's time now to talk about your experiments with wine and
Yeah, are we going to include them, or is this going to be our private party?
So this is what we're going to do. Those who are
Behind
on
closed
Zoom, it won't be behind those closed doors. These people, they're going to take their drink of their choice and they're going to march into EESystem room. Meanwhile, I'm going to be sitting here and entertain you for a couple of minutes, and then they're going to come back and tell you what is happening.
So they get to share the party.
Absolutely,
and
yes.
you can do these experiments at home with your own EE medallions or bracelets too, or you can do it with at any of our centers or this everybody's here for a science experiment, right?
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah.
Our guinea pigs are ready.
Fluids. It's all about hydration.
So how is it going to go? Tell us.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, you see, she has glasses that you can see through, and she's got some sparkling wine and some red wine.
We have champagne, red wine, and we have sparkling water and regular water.
And you can test with any and all of those, but bubbles are fun, right? We're celebrating.
They'll eat calibrate.
Yes. And so, it's kind of fun because this is your science experiment, because you can see and experience changes to yourself, and then just imagine what that's doing with all the fluids in your body. And it's mostly water. Mostly hydration is everything. Okay, so but the experiment is, I think we're going to start with the champagne or sparkling water. Okay, and you're going to put it in the. Let's see, she's got the Prosecco.
And then red wine.
I'm going to get that open. And you're going to have some in the glass, or some. And while we're out here, we're in the field, so they're somewhat energetically affected. Okay, already, but it's not. But it's out here. So you're gonna smell it, taste it, smell it, taste it, smell it, taste it. So you have it really clear how it is. And then you're gonna go in the system. I want you to hold your glass up in the middle of the system, or near one of the units, or wherever you feel called to be. Hold your glass. We're toasting the universe. Bubbles. But you're gonna watch it. You can literally watch the bubbles get smaller and faster. Because reduction of surface tension, right? 28% reduction of surface tension. The system is what's been proven with a couple of our labs already. Okay, so smaller and faster bubbles, right? But what you're going to feel for, now this is tangible, these things are tangible. But what you're going to feel for is when the glass gets a little bit heavier. That's the effect on the hydrogen atoms, because the hydrogen it's like positive aspects of heavy hydrogen. So you're going to feel for when it gets heavier. It takes about you'll feel it. I mean, it's noticeable. The specific weight changes. So So, but hold it up and then watch it, and then it takes about maybe 35 to 45 seconds where you can feel it change.
What's the advantage of a heavy
Heavy hydrogen,
sorry.
the active hydrogen. Yeah.
Just think about hydrogen. It is, I don't remember, I think it's 60% in the sun is, content of the sun is helium and hydrogen. Hydrogen is a very, very important
But what we
component.
didn't talk about with the regeneration is repair of the covalent hydrogen bonds in the DNA. That's what's so valuable about hydrogen. Yeah. So anyway, and it's the fuel for the cells, the fuel for the mitochondria. But you can feel it because it changes. A lot of how this technology affects things is the change in the release of the active hydrogen and active oxygen. Okay, but so you can actually perceive that change with the weight. Okay, and then smell it, taste it, smell it, taste it. Stay in there another couple minutes. Smell it, taste it, because it'll keep changing a little bit more. The nose will change. That the whole mouth feel will change. That it, you know, this blows away sommeliers. This is so much fun.
Excited.
Huh?
Excited to try it.
Guys
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
All right.
So, and then we'll do it with
So
the red
who's gonna
wine.
drink champagne? Who's gonna drink red wine?
Drink
Okay.
champagne.
Now the red wine has different benefits. I mean, champagne is good because of
Thank you.
it's extra antioxidant from the double fermentation. But with red wine, that's with the colors from the seeds and the skin. So that's your resveratrol, pycnogenols, the phytonutrients, the enzymes. It's live food. Raw condensed nutrition, live food, live fermented food, which can be very healthy for the body. So you're releasing all those active anti-aging effects. But with the red wine, you won't be able to see the bubbles, but you might be able to see the legs change. But more you're gonna, when you feel, smell it, taste it out here with the red wine, and then again hold it up, feel the weight change, and then smell it, taste it again, and it'll keep changing a little bit because the scalar keeps going. But it makes it so much smoother with that reduction of surface tension. It makes all those good things more bioavailable. Yeah, that's right. You're serving Via Antinori. Yeah, it's a super Tuscan red.
Yeah, tell us a story about that.
Which is a great wine. I happen to know a doctor that was part of that family. That was his family that had the winery in Italy. Via Antinori. And but anyway, what he had been in the Navy. He was a doctor, but he'd been in the Navy, and he had gone onto the deck of the ship when they fired off a cannon, and he was totally deaf in one ear for over 40 years, 45 years actually, totally deaf in one ear. After 12 hours in the EESystem, he had 80% hearing in that ear. After being totally deaf, he went back in and said he got 100% of his hearing back, because it is cumulative. Every time you go in, your body will do everything it can. It has its own priority list, though. The body will do. You don't know what it's working on. Somebody called me up and said, "Oh, my system's not working. I've had it a month and my hair is not growing yet." Okay. Well, what are you doing? Well, it turned out she was still on antidepressants and thyroid medications, which had caused hair loss. The antidepressants, the fluoride, really sets off the fluoride. Reverses, takes the iodine. The halogens displace. So iodine is displaced, or the thyroid function is displaced by the halogens. That's your chlorine, chloride, bromine. So she'd been taking antidepressants, which were fluoride based, and she was still taking all that. And no, I said, well, you're still on drugs. You want to start, stepping that back if you really want to get healthy, because now your body is having to compensate and work on all that before it gets to your hair. The hair was not the highest priority for the body. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Aloha. Aloha for you guys, but meanwhile, I'm gonna entertain you. So meanwhile, about a membership that is happening and a lot of things are happening in our community right now. So starting from January 1st, we're going to have this monthly membership that you're going to, not monthly, weekly actually. You're gonna have a lot of membership how do you call it, benefits, including like this, something like that. We also going to have a big breath work ceremony with amazing shamans and amazing light workers, those who are beautiful sound therapists in a beautiful church. It is going to be on January 27th between 1 and 4 o'clock Saturday. So for those who would like to join, there are limited seats. It's actually not the seat. It is going to be actual ceremony where you have to bring your yoga mat. You're going to have to bring your favorite blanket. You're going to have to bring your a pillow, and you will get this intense breath work where you're going to release your trauma and then receive beautiful healing of the sounds that will be performed by our shamans. So yes.
So I'm dropping off at 102.
Excuse
Is
me.
Gina Mullins?
No, it's-
You want to take care.
Of course, it had to happen exactly when I was supposed to entertain, but that's okay. The UPS guy showed up. So that's what's happening. You're going to release a lot of trauma and receive a lot of healing during that ceremony. Other things that are happening also, once you start getting in this platform that we have, you will see other perks that you can get, including discounts for your IV therapies, discounts for the EESystem. We're going to get good discounts for our events. We're going to have retreats. So, and we also have a detox, just like we were talking about detox, how important it is. We have a program that helps you guys to detox on the cellular level, meaning that recharging your mitochondria and preparing and cleansing it all with just specific minerals, vitamins that you do at home under our supervision. So there's a lot going on. Now, in terms of EESystem, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. And when these guys will come back, we're going to go back to our conversation and answer your questions. Or if you have any questions about anything, ask me. I'm right here right now holding the fort while they having fun over there. No questions? So yeah. We'll see what they're gonna come back.
Dr. Restimova, can I?
Yes.
Can I
Yes.
So last week you emphasized, not this past Tuesday, but you emphasized cold showers, talking about the importance of them. And I've taken them periodically. I actually go into a cryotherapy about every day or every other day, down to like turn below. But the other day I went into the shower and it was really, really cold in the morning. And I'm like, I was thinking about warm, but I heard this very distinct Russian accented voice say, "Take a cold shower." So I did.
Right now. Did you say it right now?
But it was beautiful. I'm telling you. Oh my God.
Let me tell you something about showers, especially in the Northern Hemisphere.
Beautiful.
What's happening with water. This is the period of time when restructuring and recrystallization of the water happens. That's why, according to certain traditions, especially according to Orthodox, Russian, Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and I think also I think it's Greek as well. They do have this time when they call it christening waters, where basically, according to them, this is where the water becomes holy. But if you really translate into language, it is, or scientific language, what happens is the core of the planet Earth actually goes on the very lowest point during that period of time on the northern hemisphere, and the same thing happens during our summer, but they winter on the southern hemisphere. And during that cold time, when the crystallization and restructuring of water happens, the water becomes what they call holy, but the structure of the water becomes very harmonious, which I don't know if you guys familiar with the work of Japanese miracle water.
Okay, thank you.
So if we could just mute, can we mute, please? Thank you. So yeah, and that's why water actually feels very, very cold right now. It is very cold, but it does have that holy structure and healing structure. When you stand under the cold shower, only during this period of time, you actually feel numbness on your skin, which is the indicator that you're doing it right, the temperature is right. This is where you develop this shift between sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system, shift between your vasculature, and then also on development of your brown fat that's responsible for your metabolism and your thermoregulation. So water is amazing, especially now. Cold water showers are amazing. Cold plunges, cryotherapy. These are very important modalities to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. We also have some other modalities, like we know those who in our community, they know about True Vega, which is a parasympathetic nervous system, vagal nerve stimulator. We have some mushroom tinctures that we sell here with the adaptogens that also help to stimulate your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system balance. So all these modalities, you have to use them in a complex, and we design them according to your budget. We design them according to your needs. So we have a lot of things to choose from. But the ultimate one, of course, is a cellular detox. So when you detoxing yourself 3 months, 12 weeks, and by taking certain vitamins and minerals and eating certain foods and monitoring the blood sugar, so under our supervision, that is the ultimate detox, and people get really good breakthroughs and results. Yeah, January 1st is going to be epic. We're going to have a lot of good stuff coming out. We're becoming very, very active in the community. So we invite you to participate with us. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's time to bring light to this dark place. The place is not dark, but there's some darker places, and then we need to bring that light, and this is our job, to take care of ourselves so we could have great vibrations, so we don't have to carry any light. We are light. And by doing so, by taking care of yourself, that's what you do. Your goal is, your purpose in this life is to be in the light. Yeah. And by the way, thank you for coming and joining us today. Dr. Sandra is amazing. Yeah, she's amazing. And moving forward, we will be bringing, for members, we will be bringing people who will be talking about all sorts of things: hormones, science behind EESystem, science behind epigenetics, science behind diets and vitamins and so forth. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to go and check what is happening there. I think they're having too much fun. They were supposed to come back in 3 minutes. I'll be back. Stay tuned. Yeah, it feels so good in the EESystem that they don't want to leave, but I had to disturb their peace and bring them back. So they are coming back slowly. They're all going to be here. Good morning. So, and they're all going to share.
again, if we go back. So.
Yeah. Make yourself comfortable, guys. You, if you want to share afterwards, yeah, of course. That's
what I just. Sorry, that's what I
Because they're all sharing there.
Yeah, we need to share because people are waiting. They want to hear what you guys experience, and feel free to get some snacks and food over there. Yeah. Make sure you make yourself comfortable. Anybody who wants to say anything?
I wanted to ask, if this would be-
It is being recorded. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. Yes, and we will talk about like what is the whole plot for
just
it.
like
Yes,
my wife can see it.
yes.
Well,
Anybody
definitely
wants-
the Prosecco got smoother and the glass did get heavier.
It did
I
get
felt-
heavy.
yeah.
Really?
So I'm like, is it me because I'm getting more relaxed? I don't know. But it did, yeah.
I had the same experience. It's possible. I imagine the glass getting heavier, but I definitely could taste it be smooth. There's no doubt about it.
Why it's smoother? Like smoother, it wasn't as bubblier, or what was that?
Which is more refined of a taste, right? The edge or the harshness of the taste had gone away.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
enjoyed it better.
I definitely.
Smoother because of the reduction of the surface tension.
Yes.
Makes water wetter, reducing surface tension. So
Yeah, it takes a less tannin.
smoother.
And I notice when I drink wine, I tune in more to the vibration than I do the wine first. And sometimes it'll be a really good wine, and I'll say, no, it's just horrible vibration. And I will like it. And so it's interesting to just feel that difference.
But isn't it funny how back in the days, in ancient times, they did have spirits in the wines, and they call in spirits into wines in all these ancient traditions. That's why when you go walk around today, it says wine and spirits.
Right.
Because of that, it does have a spirit in there. And the question is, what kind of spirit?
Yeah, right.
So it looks like the spirit get milder when they get in that room.
But also the water is kind of miracle.
That's too, yes. That's what it meant probably.
Yeah.
Water into wine, when you say blessings to the water and charge it with the frequency,
Yeah.
and then you drink it, it tastes like wine.
But sacred communion.
Mhm.
And it's been used ceremonially since ancient times.
Amazing.
Have you tested the bogus water before and after?
That's a beach.
Have you tested the bogus of the water before and
Yeah,
after?
people have.
Uh-huh.
That's not specific testing that we've done though. All our testing actually has been pretty much third party. But that is something, we don't have that written up. Not a lot of people understand bogus.
For those who are interested to do
Yeah,
any
yeah.
kind of studies in
Yeah,
our
I mean-
facility, please just let us know. We're open to any kind of scientific experiments. Especially if it involves wine drinking.
Well, are you doing before and after different labs, tests, and hormones or blood work here in the practice? Are you doing that as part of protocol?
Yes, yes. If you sign
With
up,
the EE?
yeah.
Mhm.
So someone who comes in and doesn't even know, has no idea what EESystem is, comes for some other problems, and I put them on this protocol and they receive the IV therapy, we put them in the EESystem. They don't even know what EESystem is. They don't even know how it works, and they don't have to know.
No, sure.
But it enhances my protocols, and they think that I'm
What about
awesome, but it's not me. That's my secret now. Everybody knows.
But everything works better. It's designed to really allow everything to work better. Every healing modality, every process in your body, everything. It allows everything, that continual reorganizations, reorganizational fields, talking physics. Intentional, dense intentional, but informational reorganizational fields. So it allows everything to reorganize to higher levels of function.
Mhm.
Can we talk about something? It's not considered science, but maybe some people would be interested. Quantum field and law of attraction and manifestation, and how you can manifest in that field of potential and how it works. Can you please emphasize?
Okay. Yeah, and that's a great question, and it is quantum physics, but thoughts create.
Yes.
So focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Thank your body. Thank your body for being so amazing and awesome. You're breathing light, literally in that room, you're breathing light through every cell and activating the light within you. And then you want to live your highest potential, your greatest life, your greatest light, your greatest love, right? So focus on what you want, and then what does that look like in your reality? Because you're aligning every part of you with your own true best and highest potential. So focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And thoughts create. But a scalar is also a broadcast. It's a carrier wave. It's a dense intentional field. And so it works with intention. And it's a carrier wave. And it's broadcast. It literally broadcasts.
The term is a scalar?
SCALAR.
AR.
Yeah.
Meaning that you can add intention in it, send off, and the receiver can actually, it can install within the receiver if the receiver is open enough to that.
Right.
That's tricky.
Yeah, DNA is wireless transmission. It's actually DNA communication is scalar. Interesting, right?
Very.
So the twins communicating between each other and feeling each other is on the scalar.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we have a lot of crazy stories, miracles with, the father going in, and then the son who's been infertile his whole life conceiving. The father was a top nuclear physicist and had passed on that problem of his son had no. So just the father using the system, the son's wife got pregnant, but he tested as totally infertile for years. His previous wife had left him because he was infertile. So everybody's going, did the wife screw around?
DNA testing.
They did the DNA testing. They absolutely did the DNA testing. That little boy was born on my birthday.
So basically what happened is
Miracle child.
it was healing on the generational level, generation healing.
Yeah, but we see and hear that a lot with you. If there's issues with a parent or a child, you get in it. You get in it. Buck stops here. Because, with your child, their body came from your body.
Does it go the other way?
Generational, that's genealogy, it's your genes. All the information's in the genes.
Does it go the other way too, for a child to do it for a parent or grandparent?
Absolutely. Their body came from their body.
So this would
And
be-
it goes generationally, past and future.
So I'm experiencing something, Dr. Sandra, that it's kind of hard to say to anybody else because I don't think anyone would truly understand, but I know you and Dr. Restamova would. But I've been getting up like really early in the morning, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, wide awake, totally wide awake. And this has really been working on my inner being more than anything else. I mean, my body's transformed like you wouldn't believe from after being here. It's incredible for me. But anyhow, I end up getting into conversations with other people's inner beings. And they could be dead or alive. And it's like freaking me out. I mean, it's not freaking me out, but I'm like, it's like natural. It's like it's really interesting. I'll just say that.
Yeah. And so again, focus on the higher self, the higher aspects of what that's about. Because the communication is opening up. That's in the Vedic traditions, that's called the Brahma Murta hour, which is when things are the quietest. It's the best time for meditation. It's also the clearest time to get the messages of what your higher self has prepared for you. But it's also when you can do your most work. It's what we call
Ambrosian hours.
Yeah. But you're educating. It's a great awakening.
Yes. And you only do it once a month. In the past, 3 months now?
You've only gotten in the system once a month for 3 months?
I think you muted. You muted.
No.
You muted. I think Olga muted you. Yeah. She muted you. But that's okay. So tell me.
Yeah, the first time I wasn't quite prepared for it because I didn't know what to expect. And I was kind of in a rush because I had to catch a flight. But
and you were the one, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you were the one who had no idea what EESystem was, correct?
no idea.
Yes.
No clue.
He was the one who was just placed on
IV.
I just
Came to receive his IV.
hey,
He was
if someone tells me in a commanding Russian voice to do something, I do it. Okay, that's just the way it works. I don't ask questions. I say, got that. I was a soldier, so let's go. Tell me what
Thank you.
But yeah, it's gonna you've heard of the super soldier programs. Well, scalar was used in that to bring forward abilities, but it's especially valuable for remote viewing kind of things. Because it's synchronization of right and left hemispheres of the brain that occurs with the technology, but able to access those higher dimensional states of consciousness. Is trans-dimensional, by nature. This technology creates a trans-dimensional, we're multi-dimensional beings, but it's going to decalcify the pineal gland and open up your vision, your abilities. It's bringing forward your natural innate abilities, Now what are you going to do with them?
Yes, and that's why we do have private ceremonies, breathwork ceremonies in that room, and amount of emotional and spiritual detoxification that takes place. It's almost like someone took plant medicine. That's how powerful it is. People cry, people release, but then at the end of the day, they feel amazing because it amplifies everything.
Breath work is so powerful because people have been sub-ventilating, only breathing enough kind of to get by. And when you're fully breathing, live people breathe, dead people don't. But it takes breath for energy to move. But you're opening up all the ways that you ever suppress the breathing. The only way anything ever got stuck in the body was the fear reaction pattern.
Yes.
Don't want to be here, don't want to deal with it. That's what stress, that's what tension is accumulated tensing, right? That from that fear reaction pattern, something's wrong. God screwed up. And the more you focus on what was wrong, the more wrong things would get. There's that fear reaction pattern. And when you breathe, it's like, oh yeah, I remember who I am. Fear and God, fear and love cannot share the same space. So you're breathing light, breathing love, and that's going to release the pockets of darkness or where you bought into lies of forgetfulness of who we really are, that we're literally storing through the body. So breath work is extraordinarily powerful with the technology. In fact, that's part of how I developed this technology from more than 30 years of breath work with people.
Good question.
I lost it.
Okay.
Can you please explain breath work? What does that mean? What does that look like? Breath work.
There's a different types of breathwork techniques, breathing techniques that you could use for different reasons. The way we do it here, the way I practice, I'm a breathwork practitioner, I help my patients to release trauma from subconscious mind. But there's a breathwork that you can use and you can practice 5 minutes a day just to balance your hormones, just to balance your sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system, which is part of my protocol as well. But the breath work that we're talking about is when the person comes in and start breathing, and you breathe a certain way, and you breathe for 45 minutes straight, cleansing all your energetic points and releasing that stored information in your subconscious that's not letting you be who you are, to be the best version of yourself. And with the technology, with the EESystem, gets amplified. So if it takes me 45 minutes to get the person in that state, a lot of times it could be only like 25 minutes and the person is already crying.
Or 5 breaths.
Right. So it's very interesting what happens in that room.
It's connected conscious breathing, where you literally focus on breathing light through every cell and every part of yourself.
Circular breathing.
Circular breathing.
There's a circular breathing. There's a holotropic breathing. There is a Wim Hof. There's so many breath work that you can do.
Modalities.
Yes.
A simple breath exercise you can do is breathe inhale to the count of 8.
Yes.
Hold to the count of 8. Exhale to the count of 8. Let it go for the count of 8. Well, the simple thing is you're filling your lungs to capacity, and then let more air in. Expand your capacities for life and light and love. Breathe into the heart and open it up more. So the exhale can be a total relaxation. Aloha.
Another reason to be a member of our platform when we practice this every week.
I agree. Thank you. I agree. Thank you.
No matter what happens, the big secret is no matter what happens, keep breathing.
Yes.
Because live people breathe, dead people don't. You're either expanding your capacities for life or shutting them down.
So I tried the going about the wine testing there. I pulled out a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon from Bulgaria that I've been wanting to open. It's usually a little heavy, more like a Malbec, but I put my bracelet near it and it almost became like a Pinot Noir. It was smooth and silky, lighter, and just decadent. Thank you for that tip.
That's fun, isn't it?
It's fun.
And what's unique about it is the key code for the technology is alignment with true best and highest interest. Now, if we took the wine that each person brought in, every one of them would taste and feel and smell a little different because it's adjusting to your best and highest. So it obviously what it did for you with that was what it did to bring you to your best and highest experience with that wine tonight.
It's pretty happy. Thank you.
It works.
I have a
Yes.
So it's not a coincidence that I don't think it was 10 minutes that I was in there that I felt so much lighter and more clear. That's a function of, and my only frame of reference, and I did a little research on this, is the first experience I've ever had.
Oh, so you were a virgin tonight.
Yeah.
Virgin sacrifice.
We're gonna tie you to one of those chairs.
So I'm not anymore though. I'm not anymore. It was incredible. So I don't have the only quasi frame of reference I have is like a negative ion generator.
Okay.
So it is, you feel it's, but
it
this
is generating negative ions in there. That's why the air stays very, very clean.
Okay.
A little bit of those.
And those lights, are they random or is it, are they like, or is it not? It's just a distraction while the machine works.
No, it's interfacing with the DNA. If I stop it on a black background, it looks precisely like the screens out of the Genome Project. Yeah, and it's designed, if you look at it, you'll see it looks like 12 strands of DNA. Because that's what we're meant to be expressing. Yeah, so this was to help create that shift for people to come into their highest expression at a genetic level. So it's very, very particular how that's been done. That's in communication with the DNA. I talked about the DNA being photonic. You could feel the fields, right? They're tangible. If I'd had to hold your hand up, you would have felt it with your hands. Yeah. But the real magic is in sleeping in it.
So looking at the lights, is there something else emitting the energy, or is it just the screen?
No, it's not. The main fields are off the like black box technology.
I got it.
It's a field engine generator behind the screen. That's where the scalar and how it's all set
so
up.
many parallels to a Grateful Dead concert.
And it's a natural high. Yeah, people go, the drug is in the air, but it's opening up the neurotransmitters, it's opening up, the synapses, but
it's 5 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, and it is a natural high because it's oxygenating the brain. It's opening up all those neural pathways. It's superluminal velocity. So superluminal velocity. 1.4 times the speed of light, and it's superconductivity. So everything is firing. Your cell signaling, all that stuff is getting fired up and turned on, and so it's mind expanding, super learning states, all that kind of. Not bad for a quickie, right?
No, that was great. That was special.
Did you feel the wine change too?
Well, I had a problem. As it was getting lighter, I was drinking it, so I
You didn't
so
get
I,
enough
I didn't
time.
get the right effects.
Well, we can repeat it again.
Yeah. Okay, you try again. Pay attention this time.
I have a question about overnights. Is there a way to explain it? Is it exponential? with an
Overnights?
And if so, how would you explain that?
Yeah,
to
I
kind
do
of a layman?
recommend people do a minimum of 2 hours at
Yeah.
a time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like to do the overnights. It just, if I was
Yeah.
explaining it, to me, it feels exponential than 6 sessions. I'm just
Yeah.
curious if you were to give it a number.
Ideally,
Would it
it'd
be,
be
or-
around your bed. We should be sleeping in it. Clinically, 2 hours is much better than 1 hour. You want to give the body time to use the energy. Same thing with doing the overnight. Now the body's had more time to process and cycle in many different ways. And the lucid dreaming, and you can get to all those kinds of states. And yeah, so overnights is where that's where more of the magic is.
Right. I just was wondering if you were to quantify it, would you throw out a number like exponentially or no? Depends. Everyone's different.
Yeah, everybody's different. And it's giving you the energy. It's still up to you and your body what you do with the energy. And we can't make anybody heal. I wish.
Is the effect
Still a choice.
cumulative no matter how much time has passed? Like
Yes.
if you started overnight a year ago and then you don't do it again for another year, does it
It's still going to try to pick up where it left off. It is cumulative. It's always cumulative. And to maintain the benefits, you want to get your medallions and bracelets. So you want to, that'll help maintain the benefits of being in there so you stay strong no matter what. Because the medallions and bracelets, besides being good for changing wine and water, they help maintain the integrity of the DNA and the red blood cells so that you stay strong in yourself. You stay strong in your power, your light, your alignment, your love, no matter what you're exposed to. So don't leave home without them. I mean, they're very cost-effective little buggers. They really work.
Are these pre-programmed, like recharged, or?
Yeah, they're hypercharged.
They're hypercharged.
Yeah, no, and then that's why I was explaining in there, like the gemstones or anything you bring into the system will be scalar enhanced. Your supplements and things like that everything will work better. The crystals, your supplements, even your medications, will make them more biocompatible. So that's one level of scalar enhancement. It is, and when we hypercharge, we have the only hypercharger that is proprietary to us. It's out of Vegas, and it's like hardwiring it, and it takes another quantum. That's what we do with the medallions, the bracelets, the different supplements, and the gold mask. Because everybody tried that, those work fabulously. Work great when I use them. But
There's a one use?
Yes.
There's just one use.
Well, you can get 2 or 3 uses out of it if you're gentle with it. Put it back in its little tray. Don't fall asleep with it and roll over in bed with it. Expect to use it again. Doesn't work as well.
All right. So
I heard someone mention something about looking at the light, and I did not hear what the answer was. Is there benefit to looking at the light versus not looking at the EES light?
Doesn't matter. It works either way.
Thank you.
got some questions.
Yeah, for an aging parent, if they're losing memory or eyesight, and they're not open to it, does it make sense to bring somebody in that's not receptive because you think it will improve their quality of life?
The most skeptical have gotten some of the biggest dramatic improvements. So,
what about for that aging population? There's a lot of memory loss.
Yeah, it's fantastic for turning the brain back on. and imploding plaque, calcifications, adhesions, but everything's firing. Right left brain synchronization, everything firing, but also discharge of whatever would create the dysfunction in the first place because it's toxicity, essentially.
Can I ask you, you have created this over 30 years ago, right?
The first full system was set up in 1996.
And I saw your interview with Jason, and obviously I don't know how much detail you could get into, but you did have some help from another group. And then one of your first machines was Rockefeller or Rothschild, you say, that purchased that.
Yeah, it went to a student of mine, and that was part of the Rothschild family. No, we had no help from them, okay?
Okay. No, I was talking about another group.
I had help from
TLS.
Yes.
Right, most.
No, that was with the launch of that. This was developed before any connection with
I see.
TLS. I didn't connect personally. I wasn't recognized as part of TLS till 2011. I built my first scalar hidden light chamber in 1978.
Wow.
2 years ago.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and this technology we worked on it from 93 to 96 before we got the first full system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this system very similar to what you created in 96 and 2006, or it's been improved ever since?
It's been improved ever since as well, but it's still very similar too.
And where do you see the journey of this technology? Is it you have some few other things in mind as you go forward, or like?
Well, and the word was when it goes out, it has to be everywhere fast. So that's where we are. There's close to 400 centers now, all over the world, literally. And each system that goes in expands the fields exponentially. It's like Earth acupuncture. We've got a whole planet that we need a global awakening. You know, like peace on Earth, that kind of peace and prosperity on Earth. It's good season for that. Let there be peace.
And by the way, for those who are listening and thinking to open, there's no competition. We are open to share with you with ideas, and every questions that you have, you can always reach out to me, and we're open to spread it as much as possible. There's no competition.
Yeah, it's community. It's unified fields.
Yes.
We have to be the greater community. The only thing the counterintelligences had going, they were a lot better organized. And they've been using, I was told I had to create the technology because they're using technology against us.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had to create the counterpoint.
Right.
So why me, God? He said, who else is going to do it?
To bring more people.
Yeah.
You have a question?
And then there's all kinds of
Will
things.
they work in a glass room?
Huh?
Will the system work in a glass room, or does it have to have walls?
It will work anywhere, right?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And in fact, the energy is actually going through the walls, and as you're sitting here, you're receiving it.
Yeah. Let's see. The null-down effect goes out 2.2 miles through anything. But the glass will actually allow some of the photonics to pass. Not 100%. There's some diffusion of it.
I see you're wearing 2 necklaces. Do you recommend wearing more than one?
Yes.
Yeah.
More is better.
Yeah.
I need all the help I can get.
Yeah.
You know, I'm flying all the time.
I
I'm
got it
70
right.
years old.
Wow.
I've been hit with every bioweapon on the planet. They've tried to kill me every which way.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still here. But the bracelets, the medallions.
How much stronger?
The bracelets, the blood runs through it. The medallions are much stronger. But, you know, like for heart issues, I recommend one in the front and one on the back at heart level, because you know how the heart creates that electromagnetic field? This really reinforces it. It's really beneficial. You know, we've literally gone in and watched the heart go back into a perfect resonance, a healing vibration, reversing a lot of the arrhythmias and things like that.
Any specific crystal disc that could relate to their chakras or energy center, and I would say, I don't know.
Well, stones all have their own properties and propensities and personalities, you know. So, you know, so some stones work a little bit more with that. These all work. They all, you know, I'm using natural stones to carry the energy efficiently. Stones still have their own natural properties. Like this pyrite is very grounding. You know, otherwise I could get pretty out there. Blue tiger's eye, though, for example, would work very much with pineal gland, things like that. Rose quartz works more with love and heart, things like that. So,
well, for those who are on Zoom, thank you for coming.
Thank you for enjoying the wine with us.
Thank you for coming. We will have more of those and get on this platform, become a member. You're gonna get a lot of benefits from it and education, and we're gonna continue with that party. All right.
Sounds good.
Happy holy days.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.